You only have a finite amount of time each day and a finite amount of time here on this planet. If you let projects, activities, people, etc. accumulate in your life without ever stopping to reassess what you really want to be part of your life, well, you may be letting this life clutter keep you from leading your ideal life. In today's video, I'll walk you through a process for uncovering this life clutter so that you can begin to eliminate it and find more time for what you really enjoy in life. First, a few thoughts about why I view letting go as a personal growth practice that it's good to spend time on each autumn. I am a big proponent of seasonal living. I think nature has so much wisdom if we are willing to slow down and watch and listen. We know that trees shed their leaves each year, but as we think about this, do you ever stop to think about how it's just like one important phase in their cycle of living? And with each release of their leaves, it allows them to go into this period of dormancy. And then that in turn in spring, from this rested state, this shedding of the leaves also has created space for renewal and then new growth. And we can apply this theory, if you will, to our own lives as well. So when we use the seasons to help remind us and guide us in a practice of letting go, we too can create the space needed in our lives for rest, contemplation, renewal, and growth. And the seasonal aspect of this is what makes it a practice. And I think with anything, whenever you practice something, you get better at it. It gets easier. I'm curious how many of you have a personal seasonal practice of assessing like what to let go of in your life. Drop me just a quick thumbs up or thumbs down in the comments, or let me know why personally you do find this helpful if you do it already. It is so easy to allow your life to become really full. And what I've recognized recently more so is that this actually really holds you back from accessing your full potential, because creativity and new ideas are born out of a place of space. And if you don't have space in your life for reflection and contemplation, then it becomes really difficult to stray away from or change old patterns of thinking and habits of the way you do things. So it becomes really hard to do something new or better or more efficient. When you create space in your life, it allows you, the room to learn new things, grow more quickly, all at a deeper level. And then you can couple that new knowledge with your own personal wisdom from the past and use your creativity to be able to do things a little bit differently and better for you. First, you have to have that physical space, that digital space sometimes, the emotional space, and just the space that comes with a reduced schedule of activities. So let's start with projects, activities, tasks, that type of thing. When it comes to letting go of things, one of the hardest parts about this is deciding which things to let go of, right? So having some data about this makes it just a little bit easier, I think. So when I go about doing something like this, I like to begin first by considering any written goals or dreams that I have or been working on. And there's some journaling questions you could ask yourself, or just ask yourself these questions. Writing them down is good. First one is, do I want to continue to spend time on this? And does it make sense given what I value and what I want to spend my life doing? Another one would be, does this still have like an emotional pull for me? And then finally, does working on this particular thing bring me a sense of happiness and fulfillment? So I do think, it's good to try and connect with your heart when you ask these questions, because it can be that you get so used to doing the things that you're doing that it becomes comfortable, right? But because it's comfortable and that's like, that's what I do, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a good reason to continue doing it. I mean, it's okay to be open to change, even if this is something that you may have been working on for a really long time. So then I like to make a list of what you do on a daily basis, and then the things that you're maybe even planning to undertake over the next few months. And like, this should include things like working out, making meals, time shuttling people places, or maybe it's time volunteering, that type of thing. And then go ahead and put like an estimate down of how much time you spend on these things, and write that down. And then also give it a ranking with a number of like 1 to 10, let's say, of how much you enjoy doing that activity, with 10 being I really love it. And then also a ranking of 1 to 10 on how important this thing is to you, with 10 again being like, this is extremely important to me. So for instance, you might not enjoy cooking meals, but it might be very important to you that your meals are, freshly prepared at home, say. So in that case, cooking meals may have a 1 for the first question because you don't enjoy it, but a 10 for the second question. So then take a look at your core values too. And side note on this, if you don't know what your core values are, there's a free downloadable that you can find in the description here to help you get some clarity on what your core values are. So then you want to rank what you're doing, on your list from 1 to 10 on how closely those activities align with your core values too, with 10 being very aligned. So like, as an example again, if cooking healthy meals might get a high ranking if one of your core values is health. So this is going to give you some data. When you add all these up, then you can step back and look at it, and look at where your higher ranking projects are, and look at and see if that's where you're spending most of your time. Then if something ranks really low all around, you can step back and ask yourself, can I stop doing this? Is this something I can let go of? Is this something I can let someone else do, perhaps? So if the answer to both of those questions is no, then add this to a list for yourself to begin brainstorming on how you can make it more efficient, how you can do it differently so that it takes up as little of your time as possible. When I went through this process last year for my business, one of the things that I realized was how much time I was spending on looking for things. It did require a fair amount of investment for me to get better organized with the knowledge that I wanted to keep like this, but taking that time saved me so much time this year. But the first step really had to be stepping back to see clearly that this was a pain point for me. So knowing what these pain points in your life really are so that you can address them head on and be really determined, this time to do something about them and figure out a way to do them faster, easier, or to let go of them completely if you can. So I hope you found this helpful today. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, if you want to listen to more videos like this on slow living and intentional living, be sure to hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for watching, and have an amazing week.